Hello, welcome to DigiComms 101 Troubleshooting, and today we're going to take a look at Adobe Spark. This is part of our DigiComms 101 session on creating attention-grabbing graphics. So we're going to see how you can use Adobe Spark to create a nice, simple graphic like the one behind me. So this is a graphic I created in about 5 minutes, and it was to give you this to advertise this tutorial on graphic design. So Adobe Spark is a really good tool for slick storytelling, helping you to build your brand. It does have a slightly higher learning curve, I think you'll find, than something like Canva, and it does have quite a lot of premium features. But even using the free version, it's really good for designing on the go. There's a mobile app that's really powerful. So if your organization, for instance, uses Instagram a lot, you might find it really valuable to download the free Adobe Spark on your work mobile, and then you can link it to your Instagram and post really easily that way. So let's take a look at Adobe Spark. This is the Adobe Spark homepage. So if you went to spark.adobe.com, you can create your free account there. You just sign up with an email address. And once you've signed up, this is what your homepage looks like. So it might look familiar. It's quite similar to Canva. You've got some blank canvases here that are all really handily sized to fit social media, the different social medias and the different types of posts you would put on there. You can also select from a template if you kind of want a bit of inspiration, don't have to start from scratch. And if you're not new to Adobe, if you've used Adobe Spark before, all of your previous projects will be listed there as well. You can also navigate around using this left-hand side menu. So again, your projects, things you previously worked on would be there. And the brand section, you can, in the free version, upload your brand logo, your main brand color, and your main brand font. However, you have to be using the premium version to then pull these through onto your design canvas. Libraries, again, this has a lot of premium features, so you can upload things there, but to use them you would have to have the premium version. If you did have the premium version, it's very handy for you can upload a lot of maybe stock images, or if you've created like a whole icon folder, or if you've got your own amazing photography, you can upload that there. You can also create templates. So for example, if you wanted a blog post template, say you've frequently posted blogs, create the template, then you just update maybe the text and the image, and then it's good to be posted to promote your blog. There's also a whole section for learning. So if you are interested in using Adobe Spark, there are lots and lots of features to get to grips with, and we're only going to be taking a very quick look today. So you might want to come back and take part in these free, very short tutorials to get to grips with everything. So if we return to my project, so that's the project of this background here. So if you just scroll down your homepage or click on projects, and then you can access it there, and you just select to edit the project. As it buffers, it tends to give you this little a quote or a top tip for graphic design, just as your design loads. So if you were using a template for the first time, you might find that there would be an Adobe watermark there. And once you've selected a template, you still can change your mind and you can browse for a different one. So if in this left-hand menu, you would just select templates, and then you can browse through. You might notice that some of these templates have a little yellow icon, and that means that they're only available in the premium version, but there are plenty of free, really nice templates for you to use. So taking a look at our design, broadly speaking, when you select an object or an image, text, any kind of element of your design, a menu will pop up here on the right-hand side to give you options of how you can manipulate and edit that. You can also use this left-hand menu if you want to add new assets, text, photos, anything like that. So if you're working off a template and you want to make tweaks to it, the easy thing you can do is just click on the individual elements and then use this menu to edit them. So if we start with the background, so here you can either completely remove the background or you can replace it, and we just want to replace it. So let's click there. So I searched for free photos of Salford, which is really, really handy integration. This is linking to a free photo site called Pixabay. If you didn't find an image you liked here, you can always upload your own photos. So if we close this Find Free Photos tab, you can upload your own photos using this box here, and then you could just link it to your wherever you've saved your photos. If you've got them stored on something like Dropbox, you can also connect it directly to your Dropbox. So let's go back to finding some free photos, and maybe I've decided actually I like this picture of the keys better. So that's going to drop it into our design. But if I wanted to make things a lot easier, I would select replace the background here and then click it. That way I don't have to move around by editing things. You can also here adjust if you wanted to zoom in a little bit. You can change that, and you can also rotate the image. Makes you feel a little bit seasick. You can flip it as well if for some reason you wanted the keys to be upside down, or flip it horizontally, which is sometimes handy if you want a different aspect of your photo. So if we leave that there, there is a filter on this photo at the moment, and you can toggle that on and off to remove it if you don't like the look of the filter. Or you can change it to add your own. So if you toggle it on and then select, so you might want to boost the contrast. There's also this enhancements option where you can decrease and increase the brightness. I want it a bit darker. Maybe have some more shadow and sharpen it up. So this, for people who use Instagram, these tools might feel more familiar to you. So I think that image is looking a little bit harsh now. I'm just going to set it back. So I'm going to click reset to reset it to how it was, because I think it looked better before. You can also put a blur on images. So if you wanted to give a nice, just a feel of the background, and you can increase the blur or decrease the blur. So that's just blurred at 1. When you're done editing, if you're happy with your image, you can just press this close button here and then return to your main canvas. And you can also close this left-hand menu so you get a full screen of your design. So here, these are icons. So if you wanted to replace this icon with something a bit different, so this says these are all the different icons for a tutorial. So perhaps if you were going to upload this to YouTube, you might want to use this icon to make it really clear that that's what it is. And you can also make it a little bit bigger if you think, oh, that's a bit small, people can't really see what it says. Resize it like you would with many other softwares by just dragging and pulling on the corners, and that will maintain the aspect ratio. You won't be able to distort that. So if we take a look now at the color options, so there's lots of ways you can change colors in Adobe Spark. And if we select the color button here, you'll see that it comes up with templates come with a palette. So I changed one of the colors on the palette already to be CVS purple. You can go through and change any of the colors in the palette to match maybe your organization's branding. And you can do that either by dragging here along this bar and moving the tool around until you find a color you just like the look of. If you know your hex code, you can type it in there, and there are lots of online RGB to hex or CMYK to hex converters. So if you don't know your hex code, you can always find it out very easily. And if you'd rather just browse some preset colors, you can do that in here. So there we go. I'll change mine to a bit more of an orangey color, I think. So when you're happy with the color you've got, you can again just close that down. And then let's take a look at text. So the text tools on Adobe Spark are probably one of my favorite features. They're really, really powerful, and there's loads and loads of things you can do with them. So if we just take a very quick look here, you can change your alignment of your text if you want it to be right, left, central. You can change the spacing between your letters if you wanted it to be more spaced out or closer together. So I'm going to space it out a bit more. And then you can move text in the same way you can move objects. And this little grid guide will come up to sort of guide you and help you align it with other elements of your design to keep everything looking nice and crisp and clean. There's also some very cool features here if you wanted to make your text into a circle, semicircle. Grid works if you have multiple words, so it can help space out your words in a really impactful way. Always a good one to play around with. And then capitalize and fit helps you fit your text into a set area. And the drop cap feature there gives you a very, very big first letter. And you can move it up and down. I don't really like that effect, so you can just use these undo buttons here and again, and then that'll return it back to how it was before. There's also some more effects that you can do with your text here. So same with the other things, you can toggle them on and off. When you toggle them on, you get to see all the options that are around. So the shape is a shape that comes around your text. And you can see here below the how to create an attention grabbing graphic that is in the square shape. So we don't want them both in square shapes, and I'm going to toggle that off in a sec, but I will just first show you this quite fun feature. So you can change the size of the shape border. So if you want it to be very big, you can leave it like that. You can also do a really cool thing where you can mask the text. So if you toggle that on, it basically removes the text from the shape, cuts it out, so you can see what's behind it. And that gives quite a nice effect. Here, we haven't got a great contrast between those colors, so I'm going to toggle it off again, but for some things it could work really well. And you can change the opacity of your shape here as well. So if we toggle that off, and we toggle off the shape as well. Shadow, as you can see, is toggled on. And here you can change your effects. You can change the angle at which your shadow is. Move it around. Leave it like that. And you can also change the depth of it. So higher depth gives you more of a shadow. Or you can have your text as an outline. So let's turn the shadow off so you can see that more clearly. And that's giving you an outline on your text, and you can increase and decrease the outline. So let's turn that off and turn your shadow back on. So really, really quickly, an easy way to make changes to your text, and a real amazing range of text features that you've got there. So if you wanted to edit your icons as we did before, we can do that here. You can click replace again, and you can also change the shape, the color of your icons just by simply clicking through and changing the color as we did before. You can also add in design assets. So if we go onto the left-hand side menu, if you're not editing something but adding something new in, and you can browse here for things that are either trending to give you ideas or that you think you might be able to use in your design. So I quite like the idea of this being a tutorial and adding in a film element. So you just click to add it. If once you've dropped it in, you think, oh, it's not really for me, you can just delete it by selecting and pressing delete. Or you could use the undo button. You can browse more. So if you select more, that will bring up similar options if you like a style, but maybe it's just not quite right. So if we add in some ink to our design, your latest design element will sit at the top of your design. But once you select it, you can move where it is in your design by using this button here, the layer order. So you can move it down in your design. Say if we want it to go behind this orange box. So now it's behind the text, as you can see here. The orange box and the image are the background, so it won't go beyond the background, but it goes behind all these other features. And if you decided you wanted it to come straight back to the top again, you can just click this button here. Or just press delete to remove. There's also a really, really fun option here to animate your designs. So we could animate this text We click here, typewriter, and that will give that effect to all of the text in our design. Or we can have a dynamic option, so you just click through to choose the animation that works for you. So if we stick with typewriter, and there are other options here, so you can play around. You can have the grow, slide. Some of them are similar to the animations that you would get in something like PowerPoint. So if you're happy with your design, you can download it straight away. So because we've made this, we've added an animation, we can now download this as a video, so an MP4. If we want to remove the animation, we can do, or we could just download the animation as an image. So if I turn off my animation, download, and then I could download it as a PNG and just start my download that way. You can also share directly to social media without having to download. So if you click publish, and then that will give you the option of sharing it to Twitter, Facebook, or via email. You can also share it via Google Drive. You could invite another member of your team to view it, or you can make it a template, as we touched on at the beginning, if this was a sort of design that you're going to use over and over again with making and make some small changes to it. So that is a very, very quick whistle-stop tour of Adobe Spark. I hope you find that useful, and if you do create a graphic in it or a little video, please let me know, share it with me, and yeah, good luck. Thank you.